Hey guys, so I am up near Sequoia National Park visiting family, and so I'm going out for my second painting. And my first painting was at, I think it was 8 a.m., 37 degrees. It wasn't that bad though. Like, I've never painted in that kind of temperature before, so I was expecting to freeze, but there was no wind, so I was really comfortable. I didn't film the process, so I'm just going to show you all my paintings when I'm finished. I brought 3 panels, so I'm only up here for a day. So I've done one, and now I'm heading to another location to paint a stream. So I'll show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so I'm all set up, and the thing I noticed this morning, like the biggest challenge, everything's sort of close in values, and the colors are all sort of this, all these subtle earth tones and everything. So that's kind of a challenge to make things look interesting. But this creek going off into the distance, I think, is really cool, and I'm still trying to break things down into simple shapes. So I'm going to get started and see what I can do. Okay, so I didn't record any of the process because I was kind of just going for it before it got dark. And now the sun has gone down, and man, it cools off quickly. I would estimate, I don't know, God, it's probably 40 degrees. I just got a long sleeve t-shirt. But I had a good time. I'll show the painting. I'll show both paintings before the end of the video. But yeah, I was just trying to, my goal out here is just to try to make a big statement with bold brushwork and everything. It probably would have been better to have larger canvases. These 11 by 14 panels don't give a lot of room for, especially when painting trees, but I'll show you the paintings, and then I can talk about some of the challenges. But overall, just a really beautiful spot to paint, and I wish I had more than one day. But I was able to do 2 canvases, and we'll have a look and see if they're any good. Oh, getting cold. Okay, so it's day 2. It's about 7:45 a.m. and again 37 degrees. Okay, now listen to this. This hound dog's gonna start howling at me. Hey, buddy. I've got about an hour until breakfast time, so I am heading back out and gonna try to do another quick one. And we're gonna leave at 10 o'clock. So this is gonna have to be a fast painting, which is actually good. But yeah, this cold temperature is actually refreshing. I thought, like, anytime I'd see people painting back east, I thought, oh my God, how do they get out in the snow? But it seems like if the air is dry, it's not really that uncomfortable. Yesterday, just my toes got cold. But anyway, so I'm going to look around and find a quick composition and get started. Okay, so I found something that looks interesting. I want to paint this barn, but I keep finding myself walking around and getting trapped by the barbed wire fences. So instead of walking way back, I'm going to try to work my way through this fence. Also, too, some horses are kind of curious, coming out to say hello. I think they're friendly. Okay, so they don't seem to be. I think they looked to see if I had food. And once they saw that I didn't, they're like, oh, just leave him be. Okay, so I'm out in this cow pasture right now, and actually I think I found a composition that might work. It's of this barn, but all the values and everything are pretty close together, and the colors are close together as usual out here. You know, a lot of earth tones. But I think I'm gonna give it a go. And there's Mount Baldy in the background, so that's kind of cool too. So I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'm actually glad I brought 3 panels. I was like, oh, you know, I'll bring 2. There's no way I could do 3, but you never know. So not much paint left. I forgot to load the palette. I couldn't remember how much I had, but I think that'll be enough to do what I got to do. I'm gonna try to finish this in maybe 45 minutes. I don't know if that's possible. I'm gonna make out some basic marks here. And with this one, I'm not gonna be too careful because I don't have the time. Sometimes these paintings where I rush, they actually really work out. So let's hope this is one of those times. I think it's turkeys. I saw like 10 turkeys, maybe even 15, kind of wandering out in this cow pasture yesterday morning. So what I'm doing for the angles on the barn, I'm holding out my brush, I'm locking my arm out, and I'm matching the angles of, say, the roof slope, and then I'm comparing it to my panel and to my drawing, and I'm constantly checking that way to make sure that all my angles are correct. Okay, so here is the composition sketched out in burnt sienna, and I'm just going to work really quickly, first laying in the darks and working my way towards light. I've changed a few things. There's a fence around the barn, and I left a little opening in here just because, I don't know, I tend to not like when there's a fence or something blocking. I like there to be a pathway into the painting, so I kind of left an opening right here. I don't know, I was using a really small brush just to sketch in, but that sort of violates my use the largest brush you can rule. So I'm picking up a bigger brush. One that's going to be a little clumsy to use, but I don't know, it'll keep me from being too careful. So I don't got time. I don't got time to mess around, because breakfast will be served. You don't want to be that painter that everybody's like, where's Mike? We're all waiting. We're hungry. He's always out painting. Better than, he's always out drinking. Well, I wish I had more time up here. I could paint out here for a week, a month. I don't know, most places when you sort of dig in and you start looking around, you can really, you can find hundreds of paintings when you really get to know a place. And that's my favorite way to, I really like painting familiar spots. And so I've been up here many times over the years. I haven't been in here in a while, but so I'm very familiar with it. And but this is the first time I've really gotten out. This field used to be filled with cattle, so I never was able to paint out here. Also too, when I was up here, I was just kind of, last time I was here, I wasn't, it was sort of in the beginning of my, you know, when I started painting. So I didn't really get out and explore as much as I have this time. Okay, so everything's so complicated. I'm going to use that rule where you squint and you just simplify it, and that's what I'm going to do. It's all these tree trunks that are causing me issues. I'm about 20 minutes in here. I'm actually just kind of working all over the panel here, but the barn is shaping up pretty good, I think. And these shadows in the foreground here, I kind of invented those a little bit, or accentuated what was there to create this angle, kind of leading into the painting a little bit. Shadow was really more just along the bottom here. There's the fence here that I've got to put in, and I'm leaving an opening right here. But I think that what I'm going to do is paint all the colors behind the fence and then lay the fence in on top of that. That's the fun challenge, is trying to figure out ways to simplify everything and make a very simple statement. Okay, so it's 9:15. I am going to just put in the sky and maybe a few little minor details, and then I'm gonna call it good. I feel like the sky up here is kind of pink. At least right now. Sometimes these really light skies can be difficult to figure out what color to use. So now that all the colors are in, I'm just going to make some final adjustments to kind of make the, just to make the painting work, or like sort of make the colors pop a little bit. This is what we got. I'm not sure if you can see that, but we'll take a closer look later. Okay, so that was about an hour, and I started getting fussy at the end. It's kind of easy to do that with these small panels. Like a 16 by 20 would have been great. Again, more room to sort of experiment with brushwork. And but overall, I think it was pretty good. Maybe I'll experiment doing a larger version using the plein air painting as a reference. But anyhow, I'm gonna go eat some breakfast, pack up, and hit the road by 10. So we'll go back, and when I get home, we'll put them up and take a look and see what I got. Okay, so here's the first painting I did, and this was early morning, day one, and I walked out and I saw this tree, and immediately I was attracted to sort of these gnarly branches and everything, and then the view of the hills in the background. So I decided to give it a go, and I really like painting trees. I'd like to do more of it, especially in winter when the branches are sort of bare. The challenge with this painting was the fact that all the colors are so muted, but I think it worked out. I could have maybe pushed this mountain back further by lightening it, but other than that, I'm pretty pleased with this one. So that is painting number one. Okay, so here's painting number two, which was done later that day. I like the idea of this stream winding off and then kind of returning in the distance here. I think I got good recession. You know, the mountain seems like it is quite a bit further back there. Good division between this forest and that mountain. But anyway, that's painting number two. Okay, so here's painting number three, and I'm pretty happy with the way this tree came out over here. Overall, I think the composition is pretty interesting. Again, all the colors are sort of muted, especially on the barn. Everything is very close together in color. I may do some touch-ups on this one and experiment with it But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this one too. Like I said, all of these paintings were about an hour, so the idea was just to get a sort of quick sketch and just to have some fun. So yeah, so that's all 3 paintings. Okay, so thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.